Hello, in today's video, we're going to work together on the Azure DDoS protection plan that you can see here with the design and the Terraform code. So in this video, we will look at three things. The first one, how you can use this infrastructure directly from the template catalog. Then we will look at how you can set up your own Brainboard account by inviting all your team members and then create different teams, create different projects. How you can set up your own remote backend as well as cloud credentials and GitHub integrations, and then how you can design your own CI/CD workflow on Brainboard for cost and security optimization. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is that we go to the template catalog. So here, templates. We look for DDoS here. To use it, you simply need to clone the template into a new architecture. Then you will see that on the left side, you have all the resources that you can use. We support all of them. Then here you have, of course, the design with the resources. And you have here the Terraform code with your Terraform files. With the main.tf, for example, providers input with variables and locales, and then your remote backend. Here, for example, you can also look at the resources with the region that we configured as a variable. Then we have two resource group, one network and one application. Here, for example, you can look at the Terraform code to understand how we configured it. Then here we have, for example, the network DDoS protection plan. You can open the AD account and you look at how we configure it as well with the required parameter, the advanced configuration, and the meta arguments of Terraform with count depends on and for each. Now, you can also, for example, decide to, instead of having everything in your main.tf, decide to split your resources into multiple files. So here, we'll say it's called not main, but AG application. And then, as you can see here, you have your main.tf, but you also have the new Terraform file that you have just created with only these resources. Now, if you want to look at variables, then here we look variables here and here. This is where you can manage and create all your variables and locales. You have organization, so you can create your variable at the organization level, projects, environment, and architectures. Here, for example, on Brainboard, you simply need to specify the name of the variable, the scope, the type. You can either include a value or a default, and a description. Here, you also have all the locales. For example, for this infrastructure, we created 8 locales. And here, you can understand how we configure it by specifying this name, the scope, and the value. Once you have done it, then here, you can create different versions, so you will have a global history of all the changes that happen on your infrastructure. So here, for example, you do initial commit. Then here, like I was telling you, you have all the resources that you can use. So let's say, for example, here we want to add a web application here. You can look and see that we don't need to write a single line of Terraform code. Everything is written for you. So you have a perfect match between your design and your Terraform code. Here, for example, we write default, and here we close it. And as you can see, it's already been written for me. So here what I can do is that I can create a new version called added new resources. And then here I have a global history of everything that happened on my infrastructure. If I want to roll back to a previous version, I can do it and choose, for example, initial commit. So this is how you can use this infrastructure directly from the template catalog, choose the resources that you would like to add, create different versions, have your Terraform files here. So now I'm going to show you how you can set up your own Brainboard account. Here, by inviting your team members to join the organizations by specifying their email address, their roles. Then you create different teams. Here, you specify the name, who will be the admin and who will be the members. Once you have done it, you can create different projects. Here, simply need to specify the name, the teams, and the environment that you would like to create. Then you can set up your own cloud credentials by specifying all of these fields. I can help you do that as well. And then you can do the integration either with GitHub and or with Azure DevOps, Bitbucket, and GitLab. Now that you have done it, you can also set up your remote backend on Brainboard by specifying either if it's AWS S3, Blob Storage, Terraform Cloud, or Brainboard backend. Now we go back to the design. For example, here, the way you will work on Brainboard is that you will create different projects from, for example, for us, from Brainboard community to use cases. In each project, you have different environment from dev to webinars, and then in each environment, you have different architectures. And here, for example, this is the one we're working on. So here, we'll do modifying the name. Here you have all the status of your architecture from work in progress to locked. You can also add description, the tags that you want, and you have the information here. Here we do the update. I was telling you about the Git integration is if you want to do pull request, you can use, like I was showing you, GitHub, Azure DevOps, Bitbucket, or GitLab, and you can directly do the pull request from Brainboard. You can also choose to do one action, so Terraform action, either by doing Terraform validate, plan, apply, or destroy. Now, if you want to understand how and why we created this infrastructure, then you can look at the README. So here you look for README. You have the description, the architecture, the requirement, and how to use it. Now that we have done all of that, what we can do is that we go to the CI/CD. Here we will design it, and here we choose a name. So for example, Terraform commands, Tfsec and Infracost. Here we create it. Then we choose here Terraform plan, so code validation. Then we do, for example, Infracost. We choose the API key, we choose a name, so here cost optimization. In parallel to that, we want to make sure that this infrastructure is secure. So here is security check. So what Tfsec will do is that it will scan your Terraform code and check if there are any potential vulnerabilities. So here we are good. Now we can, as Brainboard is a collaborative solution, you can either invite your team on this architecture by notifying either by email or by Slack. Here is notify cloud architects. Here you choose an email address, and here check the cost and security output. And then now what we can do is that we can provision the infrastructure directly from Brainboard by doing a Terraform apply. So here provision infra. Here we require an approval. For example, here the person will go to Brainboard and approve or not the provisioning of this infrastructure, and then we close it. Now we can also do, for example, here we can add more information, for example, the name, the description. We can also add automated schedule, so here either on a weekly or daily basis it will be automated. And then now that we have designed our own CI/CD workflow, we can run the pipeline. Here we will have the status of each task. Here, for example, you have code validation, Terraform plan. You can see that we will have the output here. So here, as you can see, it's running, and then here we have Terraform has created a log, as you can see here. Then plan 9 resources to add, 0 to change, 0 to destroy. Here we also have the output of Tfsec, no problem detected. Here we'll have the costs of this infrastructure. As you can see, right now it's running. So here the overall total cost of this infrastructure is $168. We have the names, the monthly quantity units, the monthly cost. Here the email has been sent to this team, and then this person will go to Brainboard, approve the task, and provision the infrastructure directly from Brainboard. Here you have the status is running because this task is still waiting, pending. We have the workflow, so the name of the workflow and who initiated it and when was it initiated. So here what we can do is that we can here create, so convert this infrastructure CI/CD into a template. So here you have the name, you can add the description. Once you have done it, you can look at all the templates here. Here, for example, you can also use drift detection on Brainboard. So to use it is very easy. Simply need to use the templates. Here you have the description, one is scheduled. So like that, you have two workflows, one for the drift detection, one for the Terraform commands. So now everything is good. We go back to the design. Here, go back to the architecture selector. Instead of work in progress, you can say it's approved. And then you update it. If you want to use modules, you can also import all your modules directly, either from registry, Git, or from files. You choose a name, and then you can build your own module catalog directly on Brainboard. Also, if you want to, for example, I can create a new video for it, but if you want to manage multiple environments on Brainboard, you can either do that by using templates or by cloning the architecture, choosing the target environments, the name, you can do the sync, and then you can clone and choose to use this architecture into a new environment. So I hope this video has been useful for you, and if you have any questions, you can either ping me directly on LinkedIn or ask us directly, ask the support, and we will be happy to help you build your own use case on Brainboard. And here, one more thing is that you can also choose the version of Azure, and you can use also to either use resource or to use data. So I hope this video has been useful for you. If you have any question, like I was saying, you can ping me directly and ping the team. Have a great day.